Combs has faced multiple lawsuits in recent months with allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking, accusations he has denied.
Before we get started, if you enjoy deep dives into true crime and shocking celebrity downfalls, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you find this video informative, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this story. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's get into it. He was the ruler of a music empire, the founder of Bad Boy Records, a billionaire, a man who shaped hip-hop culture for over 3 decades. But on the evening of September 16th, 2024, Sean P. Diddy Combs was arrested at a Manhattan hotel and charged with crimes no one could have imagined: racketeering, sex trafficking, abuse. How did one of the most powerful men in the music industry end up behind bars? Today, we're going to talk about 3 critical mistakes that sent P. Diddy from the penthouse to a prison cell. And I'll warn you right now, this story isn't pretty. Let's dive in. The first and perhaps biggest mistake? Thinking money could fix everything. On November 16th, 2023, just one day before New York's Adult Survivors Act was set to expire, Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, filed a lawsuit. And this wasn't just any lawsuit. The 35-page document described a decade of hell: physical abuse, rape, forced sex with hired male sex workers while he filmed, drugs, threats, isolation, control. Cassie alleged that Diddy beat her regularly, punching, kicking, slamming her into walls. She said he forced her to participate in multi-day sexual encounters called freak-offs. She claimed he drugged her so she couldn't resist and controlled every aspect of her life: what she wore, where she went, who she talked to. In 2018, she alleged he broke into her home and raped her. But here's where Diddy made his first critical mistake. Instead of taking these allegations seriously, his team responded with the classic powerful person playbook. This is just a money grab. His attorney Ben Brafman stated that Cassie had been trying to blackmail Combs, demanding $30 million. And then, in less than 24 hours, the case was settled, reportedly for $20 million. Now, some people think, okay, he settled, problem solved, right? Wrong. Because settling didn't solve the fundamental issue: public perception. When allegations are this severe and you settle this quickly, the world draws conclusions. And when you release a statement months later saying, settling is not an admission of guilt, well, nobody believes you. But the worst part? The Cassie lawsuit was like a domino effect. Within weeks, 2 more women filed lawsuits against Diddy, then another, and another. By 2024, there were multiple lawsuits against him, each one adding more disturbing allegations to the pile. And here's the critical error. Diddy's team thought quick settlements and statements of "this isn't true" would stop the wave. But in reality, they just created a narrative: a powerful man using money to silence his victims. This was the foundation that would eventually crumble beneath him, because prosecutors were watching, the FBI was watching, and they were building a case. The second mistake that ultimately destroyed his credibility? Lying about what was caught on camera. On May 17th, 2024, CNN dropped a bomb: hotel surveillance footage from March 5th, 2016. And what people saw was absolutely devastating. The video showed Diddy chasing Cassie down a hotel hallway wearing only a towel, grabbing her by the neck and throwing her to the ground, kicking her while she was down, not once but twice, dragging her by her hoodie back toward a room and throwing an object at her as she tried to escape. This was exactly what Cassie had described in her lawsuit. The incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles. The same incident Diddy's lawyers had dismissed as fabricated lies. But now there was video proof. And here's where Diddy made his second devastating mistake: his response. After the video went viral, after millions of people watched him brutally assault his ex-girlfriend, Diddy posted an apology video. But it wasn't the apology that mattered, it was what came before it. For months, his team had categorically denied Cassie's allegations. They called them lies, money grabs, fabrications. They painted her as an opportunist trying to extort a successful black man. And now, video evidence proved they were lying. The video did 2 things. First, it validated Cassie's entire account. If she was telling the truth about the hotel assault, what else was she telling the truth about? The freak-offs? The drugging? The rape? Suddenly, everything she said had credibility. Second, it showed that Diddy and his team were willing to lie, boldly, publicly, repeatedly, even when they knew evidence existed. Prosecutors pay attention to this. When you lie about verifiable facts, it makes everything else you say suspect. It shows consciousness of guilt, and it makes juries very, very unsympathetic. But Diddy's biggest mistake here wasn't just the lies, it was the arrogance. The assumption that a 2016 video would never surface. The belief that his power and wealth could keep the truth buried forever. Spoiler alert, it couldn't. Mistake number 3, continuing the pattern and leaving a digital trail. Now, here's where things get really damning. The third and final mistake that sealed Diddy's fate? He never stopped. And worse, he documented everything. According to the federal indictment unsealed in September 2024, Diddy didn't just commit these acts in the past, he continued a pattern of abuse for years, possibly decades. And he left evidence everywhere. The indictment alleges that Diddy ran a criminal enterprise through his businesses, Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and various other entities. This wasn't just about personal misconduct. Prosecutors argue this was organized crime, racketeering. Here's what federal agents found when they raided his homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March 2024. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, drugs including ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, known as date rape drugs, firearms, including AR-15 with defaced serial numbers, and perhaps most damning, video recordings. Lots and lots of video recordings. The indictment describes these freak-offs in disturbing detail. Multi-day sex sessions where Diddy would fly in commercial sex workers, drug victims so they would comply, film everything, and sometimes use the videos as leverage to keep victims silent. His staff allegedly helped arrange everything, booking hotel rooms, stocking them with supplies, cleaning up afterwards, and even arranging IV drips for victims who were too exhausted or drugged to function. But here's the critical mistake. Diddy kept records, he kept videos, he kept receipts, he documented his own crimes. Why? Probably for control, to have leverage over his victims, to relive the experiences. But what he didn't anticipate was that those same records would become the evidence that destroyed him. Federal prosecutors now have thousands of hours of footage, text messages coordinating these events, financial records showing payments to sex workers, and testimony from multiple victims and witnesses. The digital trail is overwhelming. And there's more. The indictment alleges that when Diddy thought investigations were coming, he tried to interfere, offering bribes, making threats, trying to intimidate witnesses, all of which are additional federal crimes. This is what separates stupid criminals from those who get caught. The smart ones, if we can call them that, know when to stop. They destroy evidence. They stay quiet. They get good lawyers and follow their advice. Diddy did none of that. He continued the pattern, he kept the evidence, and when pressure mounted, he allegedly tried to obstruct justice, which only made things worse. The result. So where does this leave us? On September 16th, 2024, Sean Combs was arrested and charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted on all counts, he faces a minimum of 15 years in prison, potentially life. His request for bail was denied twice. The judge called him a danger to the community and a flight risk. As of now, he sits in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, the same facility that housed R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell. Multiple other accusers have come forward since his arrest. Civil lawsuits continue to pile up. His business empire is crumbling. Brands have cut ties. Former friends and collaborators have distanced themselves. The lessons. So what can we learn from P. Diddy's catastrophic fall? 3 things. First, power and money don't make you untouchable. For years, Diddy thought his wealth and influence would protect him. He thought he could buy silence, intimidate victims, and outlast any accusations. He was wrong. The Me Too era has shown us that eventually the truth comes out. Second, lies always catch up to you, especially when there's evidence. The hotel video was the turning point. Once the public saw concrete proof that Diddy and his team had been lying, his credibility evaporated. In the court of public opinion and in actual court, credibility is everything. Third, patterns of behavior create patterns of evidence. One-time mistakes can sometimes be covered up or explained away, but decades of similar behavior, that creates witnesses. It creates evidence. It creates a prosecutable pattern. And that's exactly what federal prosecutors used to build their RICO case. Sean Combs had everything: fame, fortune, legacy, influence, and he threw it all away because he believed he was above the law, because he thought his victims wouldn't be believed, because he couldn't stop himself. The three biggest mistakes P. Diddy made weren't just legal errors, they were moral failures that revealed who he really was behind the carefully crafted public image. And now, he's paying the price. So there you have it, the three critical mistakes that brought down one of hip-hop's biggest moguls. If you found this video informative and eye-opening, please smash that like button. It really helps push this content to more people who need to know the truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives into cases like this. Share this video with anyone who's been following the Diddy case or anyone interested in how power and wealth can't shield you from justice forever. Drop a comment below and let me know, were you surprised by any of these details? Did you see this coming? What do you think will happen next in this case? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay critical, and remember, the truth always finds a way out.